Welcome inside a reaction video from the Locked On Senators podcast. I'm Brandon Pillar here with you today. Ross Levitan is out of town on vacation, so this will be a solo YouTube exclusive reaction video. Now you might be thinking, ooh, is this a reaction video for the signing of RFA Shane Pinto? No. Oh, is it a reaction video to the signing of RFA Igor Sokolov? Again, no, neither of those guys have been signed yet by the Ottawa Senators. However, in a different type of move, the Ottawa Senators have signed veteran, longtime New York Islander Josh Bailey to a PTO. This is an interesting move because the Ottawa Senators have gone to the well of veteran PTO signings a decent amount of times in recent history, especially when you look at guys like Derek Brassard, who was brought back for his second tour as an Ottawa Senator and reached his 1,000th game and had 2 goals in that game and was sent off. Hopefully he can recover from that brutal injury at the end of the season. Tyler Ennis was another one that worked out for the Ottawa Senators. And if you can get a veteran guy in their 30s that has a lot of experience at a cheap PTO deal, that can provide really good value for bottom six. And we've seen Tyler Ennis and Derek Brassard really did a great job while they were here, especially at that cap hit. So the question is, do we think Josh Bailey can do the same? Now, just because Josh Bailey has signed a PTO does not mean he's made the team yet. Obviously, he's still going to have to go to camp. He's going to have to earn his spot. But you're looking at a veteran player who had 16 seasons in the NHL. As I mentioned, he's played his 1,000th game as well, 1,057 games, 184 goals, 396 assists for 580 total points, math guy. And he's got a lot of playoff experience, which you got to like. 71 games played in the playoffs, 16 goals, 34 assists for 50 points. So 50 points in 71 playoff games is pretty solid. Now, that's his whole career stats. Let's take a look at what he's done recently. Last year, 2022-2023, as an assistant captain of the New York Islanders in 64 games, he had 8 goals, 17 assists for 25 points. Now, maybe you're thinking that's pretty underwhelming, and maybe that's a reason why the Islanders decided not to bring back a guy who's been there for his whole career. But if you go back just one more year, when he played 74 games, 14 goals, 30 assists for 44 points. So I'd like to imagine his point totals are probably somewhere in the middle of that, not quite as low as last year, not quite as high as the year before. So I feel like it's pretty fair to say that this is a guy that could come in around 30 points, which in a bottom six that absolutely struggled last season, 30 points would be a welcome stat line. And look, someone that can bring veteran experience like Josh Bailey to that bottom six, which is going to have probably a lot of younger players on it, I think adds a lot of value. He's someone that can kill penalties. He had a decent amount of time on the PK with the New York Islanders last season. So that's always a nice addition to the bottom six. And I was watching some of his highlights on YouTube this morning, just to kind of get a sense of what he's been up to lately. And, you know, is this guy really slowing down? Can he still score? Can he still pull off moves? And his highlights from last season, the goals that he got were pretty decent. And even if you go back, 3-year sample size, he's had some highlight reel goals on breakaways. I saw him pull off some very unexpected moves. So this is a guy that I still think has some jam in him. Like, I don't think he's trying to ride off into the sunset. I think he still believes that he can be a contributor. And I think there's a good chance that he could make this roster. Now, there's a lot of guys fighting for the spots that he would probably go for. I assume he's going to end up as a winger on the third line. That's probably my best guess. Elite Prospects has him as a right winger / center, 6'1", 201 pounds, left shot. So it'll be interesting. He's going to have to beat out a lot of guys for a third wing job. And we don't know who that third line center is going to be. As I mentioned, Shane Pinto still not signed. Igor Sokolov not signed. That's one of the guys that would be going up for that third wing position. Yuri Schmeichel, Roby Yarventi even possibly could be there. Dominic Kubalik, I think, will be there for sure. Matthew Joseph, he's still on the team as far as it goes today. So he would definitely be another candidate if he's not traded to move money that Josh Bailey would have to beat out here. But Honestly, I think it's a good move to bring in PTOs. Even if they don't make the team, I think it raises competition in camp. They have a lot of experience that they can kind of share with the young guys in a small time just being in camp. And I honestly think that this isn't Josh Bailey trying to ride out into the sunset. I think he's trying to prove to everyone and maybe the New York Islanders, hey, you made a mistake letting me go. And if he can get some decent opportunities in Ottawa, maybe he can prove everyone that he's still got a lot left in this career, as he's not that old, like 33 years old. PTOs, I feel like, used to be guys in their late 30s just trying to hang on. It doesn't really seem like that's the case anymore. And there's also a connection to Josh Bailey in this team. If you're looking at where he played junior hockey, well, in 2007, 2008, he was a member of the Windsor Spitfires. And I don't think it's going to shock too many people when I tell them that DJ Smith was an assistant coach of those very same Windsor Spitfires. So there's a good chance that DJ knows him well and is vouching for him, and maybe he had a hand to play when it comes to bringing in a guy like Josh Bailey. And if we know anything about DJ, he is one of those coaches that likes having his guys. So it's quite possible that Josh Bailey could be a DJ Smith guy. Whether that's good or bad is remains to be seen and up to people's interpretation. But look, if you're looking at other PTO options, I think Josh Bailey is a good guy to bet on, and I'm excited to see what he can bring to this camp. So Josh Bailey signs a professional tryout with the Ottawa Senators for the 2022-2023 season. Will he make the team? Do you think he's the right fit? Is this a PTO option that could provide value for the Ottawa Senators? I want to hear your comments. Comment in the video below, and we'll be back with another episode of the Locked On Podcast Network when Ross gets back to the great city of Winnipeg on Tuesday. We'll be recording another episode. So we'll be recapping the entire rookie tournament. So stoked that the Senators are back on the ice, even if it's just the rookies. Senators hockey is still a blast. So stay tuned for that. So tune in to Tuesday's episode of the Locked On Senators podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever. Give a 5-star review, hit that like, hit that subscribe, be a friend, tell a friend about the Locked On Senators podcast. It's your team every day.